guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review. This review is for the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15 episode 10. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. There was so much drama that went down in this episode and there's so much to talk about, so let's just get right into this review. So at the very beginning of this episode, Ralph ends up setting up this girls' brunch for Drew and the rest of the ladies before they end up going on Sheree's trip to Portugal. Now, although Drew said that this was a really nice gesture from Ralph, in her interview she stated that she felt like he was doing this for show, and I completely agree with her. I feel like he's trying to change the way people view him because the viewers really didn't have anything nice to say about him in previous seasons. They just weren't feeling him that much. And so I feel like this season, the reason why he's trying to come off as a really nice, supportive husband is because he wants people to stop calling him a gaslighter and saying all these negative things about him. And so I can definitely tell that there was some tension between Ralph and Drew, and I can tell that she wasn't really believing that he was really trying to do a nice gesture for her. All the ladies end up showing up to Drew's brunch, and I was questioning whether or not the Portugal trip was going to go well because they were throwing so much shade at each other the entire friggin' time. Now, Marlo ends up showing up to the brunch with the guy that she went on a blind date with a few episodes ago, and to no surprise, Kandi said that she had met him before. Sheree was being really shady at this brunch because she was basically whispering to Marlo about Kenya's man, saying that Kenya is going around saying that she's seeing this man that nobody has seen yet, and so she doesn't believe that Kenya actually has a man. And listen, Sheree be getting on my nerves with this shit because she's one of those women who think that having a man, even if he's trash as hell and the relationship is no good, that makes her superior to another woman because she doesn't have a man. I don't know why she thinks that it's a flex to be with Martell because it's not. He has a reputation for not being a good husband and being a cheater, and so I don't know why she's running around acting like being with him is a badge of honor because it's not. And to no surprise, Kenya's guy actually ended up FaceTiming her while they were at the brunch, and she ends up turning the phone to all the other ladies, and Marlo realizes that she recognizes him. She says that he slid in her DMs in 2018 and that they went on a lunch date, but they only went on a date one time. Drew ends up feeling some type of way at this brunch because Marlo and Sheree end up bringing up the lawsuit that she has going on because she's being sued for $1,000 by this woman who claims that she was Drew's chef and that Drew owes her some money. But Drew said that she doesn't owe this girl any money. This is a woman who contacted her and said that she wanted to be her chef. And so Drew ended up doing a test run with this woman and said that she didn't like the food. And so she didn't end up giving this woman the job. And because this woman got mad about this, she ended up going to the blogs and tried to sue her. And she felt some type of way about it because she had heard that Sheree was actually talking about this situation behind her back. And we'll get more into that later on in this video. They end up arriving in Portugal, and I was actually surprised at how nice the hotel was, and all the rooms looked the same and they were really nice, and I was actually surprised by that because usually every time the ladies go on a trip, somebody has a really bad room and they end up complaining about it and arguing about it the entire trip. And I feel like Sheree did a really good job with picking out everybody's room in the hotel that they were going to stay at. Now, everybody kind of split up into their own little groups to gossip about everybody, and Kenya ended up having a one-on-one conversation with Kandi about Marlo saying that she had went on a date with the guy that she's seeing one time back in 2018 after he slid in her DMs. And Kenya said that she already knew that Marlo went on a date with this man because he actually told her when they started talking to each other. And so that's probably the reason why Kenya did not react the way that Marlo wanted her to. I do still feel like Kenya was annoyed at the fact that Marlo brought up that she went on a date with this man before. But at the end of the day, at least he was honest with Kenya and told her that he had dated Marlo at one point. Now, Sonia had a lot to say about Kenya when she was by herself at the hotel with Marlo and Sheree, and she was talking about how Kenya was a hypocrite because earlier in the season, when Martell ended up showing up to a party with Sheree, Kenya ended up bringing up the DM that he sent her a few years ago and made it this whole big deal. But then when Marlo ends up bringing up that she went on a date with Kenya's guy at one point and she brought up the DM that he sent her, Kenya kind of brushed it off and made it like it wasn't a big deal. And although I can see where Sonya's coming from when it comes to that particular situation, because Kenya did try to make it seem like this wasn't a big deal, but made the Martell thing a huge deal, I still feel like Sonya is really phony, because she didn't have any of this stuff to say to Kenya's face when they were all together talking about this situation. But now all of a sudden, when she's alone with Sheree and Marlo, she has all this shit to say. And I honestly feel like, she acts really phony. I feel like when she gets around the whole group as a whole, she tries to make it seem like she's all for everybody getting along and she wants to build friendships with everybody. But then when she gets with Sheree and Marlo by herself, she becomes the shady queen. Drew ended up oversharing a little bit when the ladies arrived in Portugal, because she ended up telling them that while she's in Portugal, Ralph is going to Las Vegas to audition to basically be a stripper in Vegas, because he was approached by a woman who works with the male strippers in Las Vegas, and she kind of wanted him to audition so that he could be like the Black Magic Mike. And you could tell that, Drew was uncomfortable with the situation. She basically tried to imply that she felt like he was going to cheat on her because she told somebody to watch him, and she also said that, she doesn't know what he's going to be doing while he's out there in Las Vegas. And so I just feel like they shouldn't be together. I mean, I understand that they have children together, but I don't think that you should stay together for the kids. And it's clear that these two people don't trust each other, and it's clear that they don't really like each other. And so I just don't understand why they were dragging this marriage on for as long as they were. Now, the ladies end up going out to dinner together at the very end of this episode, and things get pretty heated at the dinner table when Courtney ends up confronting Kenya about being rude to her when they first arrived to Portugal, because when they first arrived to Portugal, they were on the bus, and Courtney and Kenya were laughing and joking around with each other. And Courtney is a little bit touchy-feely. She's the type of person who's going to tap you on the shoulder, put her arm around you, lean into you, and all that stuff like that. And Kenya basically told her, hold on, we're not at that point yet. I know you're a little touchy-feely, but me and you are not there yet in our friendship. And so Courtney obviously felt some type of way about that. But I agree with Drew. I feel like Kenya was just setting a boundary with Courtney, and I feel like people should be okay with people setting boundaries that they're comfortable with. But I can understand why Courtney would feel a type of way, because maybe Kenya kind of said it in a little bit of a rude, shady type of way. But I do feel like Courtney was taking it a little bit too personally. Now, Drew ends up calling out Sheree for being fake when she asked her about the lawsuit situation on the trip, because she felt like Sheree was not being genuine, and Sheree really didn't care how the lawsuit was going. She was just trying to be messy, because she had heard from Ralph that Courtney told him that Sheree was talking shit about the situation behind Drew's back, and so Drew feels some type of way about it. Now, Sheree did not deny talking about the situation behind Drew's back, and tells Drew that she does not owe her any loyalty, because Drew was going around lying on her, saying that everything was confiscated from She by Sheree while they were at the reunion. Now, this actually confuses Drew, and it confuses me too, because a few episodes ago, Drew and Sheree actually talked about this whole She by Sheree stuff being taken at the reunion, and they agreed that they were going to move forward, and it was just a misunderstanding. And now Sheree is using this as ammunition against Drew at this dinner, because she's sitting here saying that that's the reason why she was talking shit about Drew behind her back, is because Drew was going around telling people that they didn't really get anything from She by Sheree at the reunion. Now, Candy and Kenya ended up jumping into the conversation and saying that they didn't get anything at the reunion either from She by Sheree, and that things were actually being taken. And Sonya said the same thing in her interview. And so the only person that was there that said that they got anything was Marlo, and Marlo could honestly be lying. Like, I know in her interview she was wearing her She by Sheree merchandise, but Sheree could have sent that to her at any time, because they usually do their interviews after the show is already filmed. So I feel like that didn't really make Sheree look good the way that she wanted it to. Drew ends up telling Sheree that she doesn't understand why Sheree is doing a healing trip if she's one of the people who can't heal from their situation either. And I honestly agree with that, because wasn't Sheree just crying at her Gucci brunch saying that the ladies need to drop the beef that they have and get along with each other? But now she's sitting here trying to say that the reason why she was talking shit about Drew behind her back recently is because of the whole situation of Drew going back and saying that everything was taken from She by Sheree at the reunion. And, you know, they talked that situation out, and clearly Sheree is still not over it. And so I agree with Drew on that. I don't understand why Sheree is trying to act like she's above all the drama, but now in this episode, all of a sudden, she's a part of the drama because she's not letting go of the shit that happened between her and Drew, but yet trying to get everybody else to mend their relationship. So there was a lot of drama that went down at this dinner, and I was really confused at the end because when the food came, Sheree and Drew stopped arguing, but Drew ends up getting up from her seat in tears, like bawling her eyes out, and she walks out the restaurant. And honestly, I feel like some things were going on at home between her and Ralph, and that's really the reason why she broke down crying, because nothing that was said between her and Sheree is something that would make a person cry. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all. And until next time, I will talk to you guys in my next video.